just ask that your will prevail in where we go and what we do. Though it's hard to accomplish a lot of things we want to accomplish when we're in the state of mind that we're in. And we have a plate that's full of many blessings. Help us to use them wisely in the coming year. Guide us all we say and do. May compassion prevail. May wisdom have its place. Lord, may we as council members be up to the task. In closing, Lord, help us to worry less about what we can get from you and more about what we as council members can give to those we serve. Lord, this we pray in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Kenny. We have an agenda that's been prepared. Are there any additions to the agenda?
Number 29.
Number 29, under ratifications, we have the addition of Winnebago's 5 signature approving revision to hotel manning document and organizational chart. Are there any further additions? He's on the executive session. Yep. Is there a motion to approve the agenda? We have a motion by Eric and we have a second by Isaac. Do we have any objections? Motion carried 800. Okay. That brings us to the reading of the minutes. We have the December 5th, 2022 regular council meeting minutes. Do we have a motion to approve?
I've read it and I approve it, Madam Chair.
We have a motion by Kenny. Do we have a second? We have a second by Isaac. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 800. December 6th, 2022 special tribal council meeting minutes, Ho-Chunk Renaissance. Do we have a motion to approve?
I've read it, Madam Chair, and I move to approve.
We have a motion by Kenny. Do we have a second? Second by Isaac. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 800. Moving on to the ratification, there's a,
One more.
oh, one more? Oh, excuse me. December 7th, 2022 special tribal council meeting minutes with wildlife and parks. Do we have a motion?
I've read it, Madam Chair, and I make a motion to approve.
We have a motion by Kenny. Do we have a second? Second by Isaac. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 800. That brings us to the ratification of 5 signatures. There will be more than usual due to the postponements of meetings. As you know, we had a lot of loss in our community and many mourners. So due to those postponements, we took care of them with the ratification process. So the first one is number 1, tribal member eviction extended 90 days to catch up on arrears. That has been, I think that's been satisfied. Is that what that one? Okay.
Yeah.
So do we have a motion to ratify that action?
Motion to ratify.
We have a motion by Eric. Do we have a second? We have a second by Isaac. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 800. The next set of ratification is number 2, Human Services approve $1,011.52 emergency assistance for tribal member vehicle repair. Do we have a motion? We have a motion by Isaac. Do we have a second? Second by Eric. Discussion.
Yeah, Madam Chair, who was the first?
It says DL. Then
It's in your packet, Kenny.
Okay.
let me see. I don't want to say the name just for the
Yeah.
privacy of the
Okay,
applicant.
okay,
That's
that's
why we
fine.
just have initials.
Okay, that's
Okay. But the name will be in your packet. We have any further discussion? Objection. Motion carried 800. Number 3, approve to bypass guidelines for additional assistance amount for JR initials. Do we have a motion? Motion by Isaac, second. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Eric. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 8-0-0. Number 4, approve fiscal year 23 departmental staff retreat workshop guidelines. Do we have a motion to ratify? We have a motion by Eric. Do we have a second? Second by Isaac. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 8-0-0. Number 5, approve request to move the enrollment items back under the CEO report effective January 2023. Further, reconstructing land and physical resources department and emergency management to one meeting, title it Physical Resources Report, Fire Department and Law Enforcement reports to remain the same. Do we have a motion to ratify that? Moved by Isaac. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Coley. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 8-0-0. Number 6, approve fiscal year 2023 ARPA emergency assistance guidelines. Do we have a motion? Moved by Eric. Do we have a second? Second by Coley. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 8-0-0. Number 7, approve new position request for YCIC. Do we have a motion? Motion by Coley. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Eric. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 8-0-0. Number 8, adopt resolution 2344 tribal enrollment applicants. Let's see. Just gonna, we usually note the. Okay. So we have a motion to ratify resolution 23-44 by Coley, second by Isaac. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 8-0-0. Number 9, adopt resolution 2345 agricultural lease for allotment 353L and 421. Do we have a motion?
Move it.
We have a motion by Eric. Do we have a second? Second by Rona. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 8-0-0. Number 10, adopt resolution 2346 agricultural lease allotment 355L. Do we have a motion? Moved by Rona. Do we have a second? Second by Eric. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 8-0-0. Number 11, adopt resolution 2347 agricultural lease allotment 365. Do we have a motion? Moved by Rona. Do we have a second? Second by Isaac. Discussion.
So, just to the rest of the council, I was gonna looking at this and I don't know, just wanted to bring it to your attention, but,
Hey, let me pass that to you so you can, otherwise they won't be able to hear you.
back to this. So just so the rest of the council knows, what I was looking at was on these, some of these leases and stuff, and not in one particular one, but if you look at, there's one here, there's a couple, it looks like they're starting to go into a 5-year term. But if you take that 5-year lease versus how much per acre, and then you look at what they're pulling off of there as a profit, far as whether it's corn or whether it's beans. I was looking at this and I was kind of wondering, so how do we determine the price of the lease? Because it seems like if you start crunching these numbers in that formula that they use, it looks like these leases are real cheap. And I'm not saying to go ahead and raise all the leases or anything. I'm just saying, are we selling ourselves short though on some of these? So let's say if I rented for 5 years and I had to pay $5,000, I'm gonna pull more than $5,000 off of that land in actual harvesting what's on there. So that's why I was kind of looking, the longer, say we did a 10-year lease for $5,000, then they get more money for a longer period of time off that land. So I just kind of wanted to bring that up of who's monitoring that, of when to raise the leases, and where does that formula, what does that look like? So I just kind of wanted to bring that to the council's attention, a little bit of that. Could I put it on a string?
Thank you, Isaac, for raising that. That's something we can definitely bring up in our fiscal research report and see if there's any kind of metrics that they're keeping on the agricultural market. And as those prices fluctuate, we want to make sure that we're getting the value of the land that they're producing that on. So I kind of hear what you're saying.
So you mean, so monitors the lease rate so it is competitive?
Yeah, basically. That's one way of putting it.
Okay.
Well, it's like the state and the horsemen, like the state and the horsemen, how they are putting a percentage on our casino every year. And what we're doing right now is just like a flat rate, even though they might be making $10,000 a year on the product that they're farming, that we're kind of losing out, because right now it's less than $1,000 a year. And so we'd be losing that money. But if we put a percentage on that, we might get more. And sometimes farmers are getting paid to not even touch the land, to just leave it, let it go for 3 years. And so if we did this, the farmer would just be making cash hand over fist, and we're just being left out. So it's kind of something to look into from that aspect. So maybe a percentage of whatever the income is. So the farmer might not be spending nothing, but might be making money. And we're just still whatever that's just for 1 year, and he's getting the next 2-3 years for free. So just something to be mindful of. Thank you.
Okay, when you read this resolution 2347, there's only been one bid that the Bureau got for 26.1 acres. And this guy said he'd pay $5,000 per year. So we haven't seen what the Bureau put out for the bid, the value of the ag land. We're just accepting that we're going to go with this one guy. And I think that's what Isaac is raising. And I totally want to know, what is the Bureau putting out there on ag land for lease versus what the actual value competitive wise should be on the fair market? I think that's what we want to know, right?
Yep.
Okay, so we should that should be a motion here. Down the road here, when we get to that point. Thank you.
So with that, do you want to table these ag leases because we've got a whole bunch more?
I asked the questions before I even started signing and approving. And Fanny got back, and Harvey is the one that said that
Oh, sorry, Ron.
the appraisal amount, all the things were either at or above the appraisal amount. Okay. Oh, yeah. Before I signed these 5 signatures, I did ask Lance about what the appraisal amount was and compared to what the bid was. And they were either at or above appraisal value. So that's why I signed them. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Rona, for checking into that. So my next question would be, do we have to use the BIA's appraiser? You know, like they set the game up, they get to set the rules up, they get to set the price. So that's a good question.
So I think that one of the things that would be good is that if we're able to get our land department in here and the BIA in here, just have an informational meeting, saying, how does this work? What's the formula? What are you guys using now? And then once they explain that to us of how it works, then we can make that decision if we want to change it. Or what we want to do. But then the reason why I raised this, I'll just come over there. It's just like anyway. But the reason why I bring this up is because was looking at before Winnebago, the land, the tribe's income was the land, and then Winnebago come along and stuff. And so looking at all of that, we kind of need to really look at the tribe's overall incomes and be able to see, you know, here's everything that comes in, here's how we can do this, here's how we can. A lot of times what I'm noticing is it seems like the tribe doesn't always stay up to date on what the prices of the world are or the economy is out there. And so we're kind of selling ourselves short. Now that could be because of many different reasons, but I just wanted to kind of bring that to light and say, hey, are we charging enough, or are we undercutting ourselves? Because we have whole chunk farms, we have tribal farms. And if we was able to build that and start farming more of our land, a part of that could be raising those, if you was to raise the lease money, the income on that, not only would it help those members that come by that are on those, that have that land and get lease checks, you'd be helping them, but you could also use a part of that to make purchase of land. So it would kind of take care of itself almost in a way. You know, there's all these different ideas. So just throwing those kind of things out there. Of, you know, maybe there's, once we start looking at all the different things of how we can, because once ARPA money is gone, it's going to be back to raising cane with each other and all that stuff, you know. So
Isaac, thank you for that comment, and thank you, council, for the discussion. This gives us something to bring to our land department and to make sure that our strategies are maximizing our potential revenue sources. So
I just think that when we approve an annual operating budget for the tribe, we're calling it tribal appropriations. But some of that is the lease money we're getting in from these leases that's going into one pot. And maybe we need to also differentiate keeping the land money and where it's going to go, that revenue when it's coming in. So it's geared toward land purchase, and, you know, instead of putting it into the one pot. And so and I think that's what you're asking. And I think we need to look into that, because we're going with, here's the revenue expected from Winnebago. Here's the revenue we're going to expect from HCI. And here's the land revenue. And it's all going into one pot, and then we approve tribal appropriations. When maybe we want to be more specific with that land lease money that's coming in and direct where it should go. And then we're going to know how much money we're going to have available to buy more land as it's coming up for sale on the reservation. Instead of, but because the way we do it now, it goes into one pot and then we approve a budget.
Isn't that what land corporations are? Sort of?
So there's from, if I recollect correctly, there's something called the PL2 account. And that's where I think correct me, this is where all the tribe's lease money goes into, because when it's an individual's money that goes into their IIM account and, you know, they get their check. But for those portions that are the tribe, it goes into that PL. So what I don't know is if, well, it's only a special drawdown that we do by resolution that we draw down from that account. And so it's been
But are we
kind of,
still putting it into the
no,
big pot?
no, it's almost like a piggy bank sitting over there, and the tribe has used it for a variety of things to supplement, like you're saying, but in whole, it's just something we kind of call upon always, and almost like not always maybe the greatest reason, but a
Mhm.
need.
Mhm.
But what I'm hearing is that we should plan better for that PL money, and rather than it just be a pot of money that we bail ourselves out of jail with.
Yeah,
Because I think that's, the tribe has used it to per cap, the tribe has used it for a lot of different things through the years in the time that I've been here. But that's through the BIA, and that's the Office of Special Trust Fund, and that's how it works. We could, and every month when we do our treasurer's report, you will see that what's in the PL account, and that's that land lease money. So if we were to draw it down, then that's, at that time, we could direct it to where it goes. But the problem with that is lease season, they only get paid at a certain time of year. So we're like projecting, we would be projecting what we would collect.
That's kind of why I bring that up, is because with a lot of I won't be too long, Lorelai, so just only a couple.
okay.
But so the reason why I was bringing this up, a part of it was because looking at what the tribe, all the different things we're doing, and listening to, sitting in all the different meetings last year, we have programs that are sitting on a shelf that could be rolled out, but we don't know how to, like Rona was saying, sustainability is the word that was used. How to sustain these programs and continue to keep them running, and that way they could help the people. So the other thing is that looking at getting a handle on all of our finances of everything. And I'm not saying that Rona's not doing a good job. She's doing a good job with everything she's got. But the other part is saying that we can plan better, if we actually know, like it, and I'll take prime example. You run to Walmart and you go there for one thing, and sometimes you end up with a whole bunch of other things. And so it's kind of like that. That's kind of what we're ending up with. It kind of seems like we're ending up with a whole bunch of other things versus we have, and I'm going to use facilities department as an example. They've been running nonstop through the pandemic, through the snowstorms, through all the wakes. And the guys there are getting burnt, and we're going to lose guys. We're going to lose guys. They're going to start walking out the door pretty soon. You see some of it on social media. You see their own thoughts and opinions of all the different things. They're burning out. And if we don't take care of them, where the solution, one of the solutions could be, we get them more guys down there. We hire more people down there, so that workload is less on each one of them. Those kind of things is what I'm looking at, is how are we wounding ourselves as a tribe by not taking care of the good employees that are doing a good job. And so if we're able to plan and look at all the different finances and everything and say, here's a little bit of, we can move this, shift this, extra here, extra there, and build these ones, these departments up that continue to make the tribe operate in the time of need. So that's kind of my thought that I'm looking at of just saying all of these things, but I'll take just about that much time there. So I just wanted to share that with you guys.
Overdue pay raises.
Well, thank you again for the comments and the discussion. We started talking about the land lease, but what we're really talking about is ways we can bring more revenue into the tribe to meet our unmet needs, like our employees. During our CU report, we're going to hope to, in the future, see the results of a wage survey, and the
We did
tribe.
that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Okay, so do we know how much money? Was it 200,000?
we know how much we have to have, and we figured we can do it. We can do it.
Okay.
Because we're getting more from HCI than was projected.
So it sounds like that discussion was already had, and the council decided that they're gonna look at ways to increase the wages through that wage study data.
Yeah, and that it can be sustained. And Alan was gonna report back after he spoke with them, so that we're sure
So
that it can be sustained.
my computer died. Oh, no, it didn't. Okay, sorry. Okay, so the comment made was, oh, I'm still on. The comment made was that the discussion was had with the CFO, and they're looking at the sustainability of implementing the wage increase and the revenue sources that are gonna, that we can count on to in the next fiscal year and beyond. So is there any further discussion on that item? Okay, so that was item number 11 we were on.
Yes.
Call for the question, objection to the motion.
No, it was
Is
11.
the 11,
It was
365. Any further discussion? Objection. Motion carried 800. Number 12, adopt resolution 23-48 agricultural lease allotment 525. Do we have a motion? Motion by Isaac. Do we have a second? Second by Rona. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 800. Number 13, adopt resolution 2349 ag lease 865. A lease allotment 865. Do we have a motion? Moved by Eric. Do we have a second? Second by Isaac. Mona, can I use that marker? This is just really jacking up on me. That brings us to the vote. Adopt resolution 2349, motion by Eric, seconded by Isaac. Any discussion? Motion carried 800. Number 14, adopt resolution 23-50 ag lease allotment 875. Do we have a motion? Moved by Rona. Do we have a second? Second by Isaac. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 800. Adopt resolution 2351 lot lease allotment 301L. Do we have a motion? Moved by Eric. Do we have a second? Second by Rona. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 800. Number 16, adopt resolution 23-52 ag lease allotment 154L. Do we have a motion? Moved by Rona. Do we have a second? Second by Eric. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 800. Number 17, adopt resolution 23-53 ag lease allotment 144L. Do we have a motion? Moved by Eric. Do we have a second? Second by Rona. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 800. Number 18, adopt resolution 23-54 ag lease allotment 29W. Do we have a motion? Moved by Rona. Do we have a second? Second by Isaac. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 800. Number 19, adopt resolution 23-55 ag lease allotment 317L. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion by Rona. Do we have a second?
Second.
Louis, are you seconding? Your mic lit up, but I didn't hear anything.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not sure. So if my volume's all the way down, I can't hear him when he talks.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, we can hear you now. Did you second that motion, Louis?
Yes, I did.
Okay, thank you.
Not Isaac?
No, Louis lit up, so that's why I wanted to know. I couldn't hear him at first. Okay, so we have a motion by Rona and a second by Louis. That's on number 19. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 800. Number 20, adopt resolution 23-56 home site lease Purnell and Jordan Blackfish. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Isaac. Do we have a second? Second by Louis. Got Louis lighting up again. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 800. 21, adopt resolution 23-57, support WCHS fiscal year 23, Title 6, Part A and Part C grant application for Winnebago Senior Center. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Isaac. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Louis. Discussion.
Is this money that keeps the senior citizens program going?
Yes.
One of them.
One of them.
Oh, so it pays for the food?
I see.
Any further discussion? Objection. Motion carried 800. Number 2, approve emergency enrollment and adopt resolution 23-58, emergency enrollment ARC death benefits. Do we have a motion? Moved by Eric. Do we have a second? Second by Isaac. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 800. Number 23, approve emergency application for tribal member vehicle repair. Do we have a motion? Moved by Isaac. Do we have a second? Second by Coley. Discussion, objection,
I gotta object. I gotta.
LD abstains. Call for the question. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye or signify by raising your hand.
Aye.
Louis, Kenny, Eric, Isaac, Coley, Rona. Opposed, object.
Brian
Excuse me,
votes yes.
opposed, sustain, abstain. You voted yes, Brian?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Abstain, abstentions.
Okay.
One abstention, Lorelei. Sorry, I said sustain. Motion carried 701. Number 25, approve cyber,
24.
excuse me, number 24, approve new position request for one dispatcher full-time and one dispatcher part-time. Do we move by Isaac? Do we have a second? Second by Eric. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 800. Number 25, approve cyber insurance renewal for Winnebago Tribe, WCHS, LPTC, and Winnevegas for 18 months. Do we have a motion? Moved by Isaac. Do we have a second? Second by Rona. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 800. 26, approve donation request for New Year's Eve sobriety powwow 2022 in the amount of $5,000. Do we have a motion? Moved by Eric. Do we have a second? Second by Rona. I have some discussion, just so the council's aware. I had some text message feedback from one of our tribal members, and there was a concern that although the relative is not laying in state locally, we do have a death mourners amongst us. So I don't know if it was appropriate that we still make contact with the family, and just so that the council knows that the sobriety powwow is happening. We thought it was canceled, but it sounds like it's tonight. Is there any feedback on that, or if we're comfortable?
I guess. I don't know where that, who made the decision once the power, we got. Should need to hire another person, mic runner now. But mic runner now, but no, just so everybody kind of knows where I stand with it. I don't know who canceled the powwow first and then who brought it back or anything like that. I haven't heard of all of that. I did miss 2 phone calls yesterday, but from Monica, and I think that might have been her trying to share with me what was the plan or whatever, but I don't know where everything's going with that. reach out to the family or if we just continue on or what, but I know that it would only be right to reach out to them in my books because it's not easy when it comes to children, and that's what this family is going through right now. And so even though they're over there by the east, and we're way over here, then I don't know if this child has been enrolled or is enrolled or anything like that. I don't know all the details of it, but I just wanted to make mention that I think that we should at least reach out to them and see what their thoughts and feelings are on that. I know that it sounds like from what little bit of information I was able to come across was that they're going to have a viewing and kind of take care of things the way they do things out there. So I don't know if the tribe wanted to send something out there or what all they wanted to do, but I just wanted to share that because I know that each one of us, we kind of have different people that in our ears and kind of voice their opinions on different thoughts and different things that are going on in our community, in our little village here. So I just wanted to share that much, but that's all.
Thank you, Isaac, for sharing that and for also taking those calls and text messages. Any further discussion? Objection to the motion? Motion carried 8-0-0. Number 27, approve additional emergency assistance for TB in the amount of $655. Do we have a motion? Moved by Isaac. Do we have a second? Second by Eric. Discussion. I'll just make one comment for the membership's information. This year has particularly seemed to be very hard on our tribal members financially. And these ratifications that you're seeing are folks that have utilized the Human Services Department and the emergency assistance. And often their emergency situation is beyond the $250 that they're eligible for. And so some of these approvals are being referred by Human Services to the tribal council. So that's why you may be seeing some of these in the agenda. And they were emergent enough to grant that extra money. And we hope that in the coming year that we don't have so many tribal members in hardship and crisis. So just so everybody knows, and if may have questions. So with that, do you have any further discussion or objection to the motion? Did we recently increase a little bit? I think so, because there was guidelines in here, yeah. So Rona just reminded us that in some guidelines were approved that up that amount, so that may help deter some of the ones that need to be approved by 5 signature or other action. Any further discussion?
You already said that one.
Objection.
Just in support.
Okay, motion carried 8-0-0. Number 28, adopt resolution 23-59, tribal enrollment applicant, emergency enrollment SB. Do we have a motion? Moved by Eric. Do we have a second? Second by Rona. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 8-0-0. 7-0-0. Isaac's out of the room. 29, adopt Winnebago's approve revision to hotel manning document and organizational chart. Do we have a motion to ratify? It was extra. It was the last one that it may have been on your desk or in your box. It was out, not in the main packet. A supplement. Yes. Okay. So do we have a motion for approving the revision to hotel manning document and org chart?
Move it.
Moved by Eric. Do we have a second?
I'll second
Second by Lorelei. Discussion. Objection? Motion, abstain, okay. We have one objection. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye or signify by raising your hand.
Brian votes aye.
Any? Eric,
Aye.
Foley, Louis, Lorelei. Brian, are you voting?
Yes.
Yes. Brian? Opposed? Abstain? One, Rona. Motion passed 6-0-1. That brings us to old business. We have on the agenda Fastwire Broadband. Fastwire Broadband has been attempting to present to the council for several meetings, but it does not look like we have those folks with us. So we'll just, I guess, move on. Number 2, Flanger Indian School Board Member Appointment. We had some discussion on this, on interest and availability to serve on the Flanger Indian School Board. Do we have any action or interest in that item? Okay, well, at another time, we're thankful that Coley did serve in that role, and we're just looking to fill that role again. If you have
Well,
any,
does it have to be a tribal council member?
They were gonna look into that.
if it had to be, okay, so I didn't get any more information on that. I'll circle back with Teresa to see if there's a parent representative that, or maybe grandparent that wants to be on there. Okay, so motion by Rona to table. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Eric. Discussion. Objection. Motion carried 7-0-0. Okay, thank you, council, for those motions and seconds and votes. That brings us to our executive session item. Do we have a motion to go into executive session? We have a motion by Rona. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Eric. Discussion? Objection? Motion carried 7-0-0. We're entering executive session at 10:41 a.m. And Louis will take you to the breakout room. And so we'll be in executive session momentarily. So please bear with us. As the
Have a
room
quick puff.
transitions, restroom, water, things.
That's a pretty fancy scarf. Like that.
Don Stout gave it to me.
Yeah.
It must have looked really pitiful.
How's that worded?
Just administrative review of the roads department. And if there's any other ones you wanted to add, but we can
Are you
start there.
directing the CEO to conduct?
Yeah. So. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the regular portion of the meeting. We adjourned executive session at 12:15, and I'm calling for any action items coming out of the executive session.
I'd like to make a motion to. I'd like to make a motion for who would that be, the admin? The CEO to do a executive review, administrative review on the Winnebago Tribes Roads Department.
We have a motion by Eric for the CEO, directing the CEO to do administrative review of the roads department. We have a second by Isaac. Discussion. Objection to the motion. Motion carried 800. Thank you, council. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion by Eric. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Coley. Discussion. Objection. We are adjourned at 12:17 PM. Thank you, council. And if you'd like to stick around, please kindly, we're going to have lunch on a going away lunch for